Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Glad to welcome you back to the Crimson Tide Sports Network, and welcome to Crimson Drive, presented to you by Coca-Cola. This show is live on our Facebook channel on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Central each and every week, and it'll be about to be 2 times a week as we start the 2021 football season. But we're certainly glad you're with us here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network for Crimson Drive, presented to you by Coca-Cola. We're using our RJ Young Smartboard to go through our headlines. Of course, RJ Young is the official technology solutions provider for Crimson Drive. Start to take a look at the headlines, and we will start with what's coming up on the show today. First of all, we'll talk to a former Alabama baseball player, Peyton Wilson. He was selected by the Kansas City Royals in the competitive balance round B, and with the number 66 overall pick. So we'll hear from Peyton Wilson about how his pro baseball career is getting going. Then we'll talk some Crimson Tide soccer with the head coach, Wes Hart, as Alabama has an exhibition match next Wednesday against Tennessee, and then the season will start on August 19th. So great to catch up with Coach Hart coming up in a little bit. And then last Thursday, we talked a little bit about this last week when we talked to Jaden Shackelford, but we were getting ready for the NBA draft. It turned out to be a huge night for Joshua Primo, along with Herbert Jones getting selected in the draft. We'll have comments from both of them, as well as head coach Nate Oates, coming up on the show as well. Other headlines, we will start with the Alabama football team and take a look at what's coming up for the Crimson Tide. Today, a big day at the Malmore practice facility as the team is reporting for preseason camp, and the first practice will be coming up tomorrow at the Thomas Drury practice fields, and the media will actually be allowed to attend. So we look forward to seeing some Crimson Tide football practice coming up starting tomorrow, as the Tide will have 21 practices all throughout what we call preseason camp or fall camp. That'll last through August 28th before game week prep starts for September 4th, Alabama against Miami at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Some other headlines, men's basketball team. Again, the draft recap coming up in just a bit. We do want to mention as well that tickets are on sale for the 2021 ESPN Events Invitational. That'll be held in Orlando, and we can't wait to see Alabama participate in that event. We know their first round matchup will be against Iona. Some other potential great matchups mixed in there as well during Thanksgiving weekend. Also, the NBA draft, as we mentioned, Joshua Primo, a lottery pick for the Crimson Tide. Back-to-back years, Alabama's had a lottery pick, and now 3 of the last 4 years, if you add in Colin Sexton as well. He goes to San Antonio at number 12 overall. Then in the second round, Herbert Jones, selected by the New Orleans Pelicans, will be teamed up with Kyra Lewis Jr. He was the number 35 overall pick. And also do want to mention that John Petty Jr. has signed a contract with the Detroit Pistons, as he'll be playing in the Summer League. He has his way to play his way onto a two-way roster, so certainly excited about everything that's coming up for John Petty. Some other headlines around Crimson Tide athletics. Take a look at the gymnastics and rowing teams. Do want to highlight these two additions, as some former Alabama athletes are returning to their sports to be assistant coaches. Gina Quinlan doing so in gymnastics. Also, Bianca Arrington named assistant coach for Alabama rowing, teaming up with head coach Glenn Putre. Also, great Olympics coverage available on RolledTide.com. We've seen a lot of medals come in for former Crimson Tide student athletes, even a current one in Ryan White of swimming. Hayla McClinney earning the silver medal as well in softball. So just so many great honors, so many great Crimson Tide Olympians. Make sure you check out all of our Olympics coverage available on RolledTide.com. Today on Crimson Drive, we'll start our conversations with Peyton Wilson, who played second base for the Crimson Tide, put together a tremendous all-SEC campaign for Alabama this past spring, and he was recently selected by the Kansas City Royals with the number 66 overall pick. Here's our conversation with Alabama's Peyton Wilson. Joined now by the newest member of the Kansas City Royals organization, Peyton Wilson, who was the number 66 overall pick in the MLB draft. And Peyton, first of all, congratulations. How's everything going out in Arizona as you start your professional baseball career?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me on. It's been good so far, just kind of getting used to the pro ball life out here in Arizona. It's a little hot out here, but I mean, it's been fun getting to know some new guys and things like that, and just trying to get acclimated to everything. And haven't started playing yet or anything like that. Just kind of practice stuff right now, but it's been all good so far.
Yeah, there's not much time left in the minor league baseball season. So what's the rest of the summer going to look like for you with the Royals?
Yeah, not 100% sure about all that right now. I think I'm going to start playing here in Arizona in the little ACL leagues, what they call it, in the next couple of days, and then just play there and then see what happens from there. Hopefully I have good good start to pro career and just take it day by day. You don't really never know what happens, but I mean, just kind of have to go out there and just play. And we practice in the mornings, play in the afternoon, so they're long days, but it's really good. You just get a lot better while you're out here.
Of course, this past season for Alabama, you were pretty much always at second base, but we know you're a very versatile player. Have you been sticking at second base so far? Have you been moving all around the diamond?
Yeah, right now it's just mostly been like second base and a little bit of center field for me. It's just I think they're just trying to take it a little easy on me right now. Just worry about mostly playing second base, but I've been doing like outfield work and stuff like that during BP. But yeah, just kind of focusing on second base. I think that's where I'm going to start out playing the most. Maybe a little bit of outfield, but I think I'm just going to trust what they think is best and just play wherever I'm told to play.
What about the transition to wooden bats? I know you've used them before in some summer leagues and things like that, but how's it been going so far going from the aluminum bat to a wooden bat?
Yeah, it's been really good. I mean, it's been a pretty clean transition. Used them a lot, like high school summer. That's all I used wood bats. In college, I only had one college summer, but when the league I played in, I've been trying out like different sizes and brands. So far, I've been happy with how it feels and everything. And it's pretty cool to have a wood bat and like you look down and your name's on it. So I thought that's been pretty cool so far.
Well, let's go back to the Major League Baseball draft, and you were drafted on day 2 in the competitive balance round B. Just where were you when you heard the news? Did you have any friends and family around you at the time?
Yeah, I was at my brother Ross's house. My brother Ross, my sister Marlo, my brother John Parker, they all came with all their kids and their spouses. So we all went over there. It's just a little easier. I got a bunch of nieces and nephews running around there, but my girlfriend was there. It was like various and excited before it happened. And when my name got called, it was big emotions, so excited. And my whole family's there giving me hugs and cheering me on and things like that. So it was a lot of fun, but I was definitely glad to hear my name called. I was getting a little nervous there for a second.
Yeah, we've talked before about your family connection to Alabama, you and all your brothers getting to play for the Crimson Tide, your brother-in-law, Will Lowry, playing as well. But now all three of you have been professional athletes. Did that kind of sink in when you heard your name called and then signed the contract that you all three have gone on to be professionals?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, and I think it all as well for like the Red Sox organization for a couple of years, and then I had John Parker, and he has years in the NFL, and Ross playing minor league baseball as well. I mean, it was really cool. They all three of those people and everybody else, my family, have all been so supportive of me, and they've helped me get to where I am today. I talked to my dad and Ross and John Parker every day. They've been very supportive, asking how it's going, asking how they can have their opinions and things like that. And I don't know where I would be without any of them. And all my mom, my sister, my uncle is really big with me too. So it's just I have a very good support system. I'm very.
What about when you talked to Coach Bohannon and the assistant coaches at Alabama and told them the news that you were indeed going to sign with the Royals? What was their reaction? What was the advice they gave you for pro ball?
Yeah, I mean, they Coach Bo and Coach and JJ uh called me that night, and JJ called me the next morning. They were both super excited for me. They were very thankful about how my time at Alabama and things like that, and I'm very thankful for them and everybody else at Alabama. Like I got so much better as a person, as a player at Alabama. I got a lot bigger and stronger and faster with prize and things like that. So I mean, I was very thankful for them, and they were very excited for me and fired up that I got my name called and started out my pro career.
Well, it was a big year for Alabama baseball, getting back to the SEC tournament, getting back to the NCAA tournament, having a good showing at regionals. What's the future, you think, for this program? What are we going to see in the next couple of years for Coach Bo?
I mean, I think that's going to be the norm. I think that's what everybody plans on it being, and then even more so going later in regionals, supers, and Omaha and things of that nature. I think they got a good foundation right now. They got a bunch of people in my grade, especially that played a lot of time, and they got Drew coming back as an older guy and things like that. So, I mean, they got a good core, and I've heard a lot of good things about all the new guys coming in. I think they got a bunch of new players. So, I mean, you need all the help you can get when SEC time rolls around. So it's good having a new face and things like that. But I think the core of everything's gonna be good. You got Zane Jim, William, they all had good years and contributed a lot. So I think they're gonna pick up where we left off and even go even further. And I can't wait to watch them play. It's gonna be bittersweet, but I mean it'll be fun to watch.
You excited to have Matt Rada back on campus in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah, I I was me and Redo. I texted him the day that he got hired, and I was excited for him. He's a great dude. He's a good guy to be around, and he's very close to the players and things like that. So it's going to be a good addition. He's going to be good on the road recruiting because he's very likable and things like that. So I'm sure he's going to get a lot of good players in and help out coaching on the field too. So I think it was a good hire for Coach Reda and for Alabama.
And then as well, just so much good news around some of your teammates in the draft. Dylan Smith with the Tigers, Sam Prater with the Marlins. You just got to be thrilled for what's starting for their professional journeys at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we had like 5 guys drafted this year, so that's a good number. And I mean, all the guys that got drafted contributed a lot this year. And I mean, I'm glad everybody got put in good situations, pro ball. Me and him were really good friends, and just kind of what's different. I hear opinions from other people and other organizations and things like that. So I'll definitely keep in touch with all those guys throughout the years, and just I wish them nothing but the best.
Well, you said a moment ago you're ready to watch Alabama baseball coming up once again this spring. How about the Crimson Tide football team? Before we let you go, what are your predictions for Alabama football coming up this fall?
Well, I will definitely be watching every Alabama football game as well. So I'm expecting another undefeated season. I hope Bryce Young steps up and does what everybody knows he can do and things like that. Ready to watch defense take a step up from the last couple of years, and I've heard really good things, and I keep up as much as I can because I am a diehard Alabama fan. So I'm really excited. It's gonna be different not being a student and being just a fan again, but I'm excited to watch them strap it up. That's for sure.
Well, it's pretty fun as an alum as well. But Peyton, just congratulations on your opportunity with the Kansas City Royals as you start your professional baseball journey. And just thank you for everything you've meant to Alabama baseball and joining us on the show today. Roll Tide.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Roll Tide.
Course, his older brother John Parker is our color analyst on all of our Alabama football radio broadcasts, but he's excited for football. We all really are excited for him to begin his professional career with the Royals, and it was announced earlier today that he will be playing in some AZL Royals games, so that's the Arizona League, and then who knows, could see him in the Arizona Fall League coming up, and then looking at some full season minor league baseball action coming up for him next year, but no doubt his future extremely bright with the Kansas City Royals. So he's getting ready to start his professional baseball journey. We're in the summertime. We're getting ready for the return of fall sports, and that is what Alabama soccer coach Wes Hart is focused on, as he's getting the Crimson Tide ready for an exhibition matchup next week against Tennessee. And earlier today, we had a few minutes to catch up with the head soccer coach here at the University of Alabama, Wes Hart. Well, we're really excited for the start of Alabama soccer, and as we're joined by Coach Hart, Coach, it's really not that long until Alabama's on the pitch. Roll Tide, how's everything going this summer?
Yeah, roll Tide, Roger. I'm super happy to be back. Team, all arrived within the last couple of weeks, and we got officially started a couple of days ago. We're excited to be back out.
Yeah, we wanted to have you on the show this week because next week at this time, already Alabama will have played Tennessee in an exhibition matchup. What are you hoping to see leading up to the exhibition in Knoxville?
Yeah, we started training. I believe this is day 3. We've had 3 days of 2-track practices a day. We've accomplished quite a bit of what we were hoping to. Tomorrow we'll do an inter squad scrimmage, and then we'll take a couple rest days. Saturday will be a regen. Sunday will be off, and then really it's about preparation for Tennessee. So that Tennessee game will kick off on Wednesday. And for us, I mean, we've got 29 players on our roster, and 14 are new faces. So we've got 11 freshmen and 3 transfers. So for us, it's still about kind of getting to know players and personnel, and who works well together and what formation. So we're kind of just trying to figure it out right now.
And is that Tennessee matchup? We've seen that in the past, an exhibition game against an SEC opponent. Just how helpful is it to have it against an SEC opponent as opposed to maybe somebody not in a Power 5 league or a smaller division?
Yeah, I think it's great. Right off the bat, I think we put ourselves under the gun, and I think we'll Tennessee will be able to expose some things that we need to work on. So sometimes you play a game that's it's a little bit too light, and you really don't learn much about your team. So I think Tennessee is going to be the perfect match to tell us what we need to know.
Well, last year was certainly a different year. Any season played during the COVID-19 pandemic is different, but you also had some spring matches with a different looking roster at times. Just what do you feel like you learned about your team, and how's that going to help you getting ready for this season?
Yeah, the spring we had, we were so light in numbers. I think we finished the spring with 12 healthy bodies that were playing. I think that last game against Clemson, I'm pretty sure we only had one sub, but most of the spring was like that for us. And so what it did do is it allowed those players that were able to play. It allowed them to get a lot of minutes, allowed us to be able to get a good look at them and see how they fit in. And for them, they had to fight through fatigue and play through tired legs. So I think it was, very valuable. And now for us, we're bringing in some new bodies that add to our roster, that add quality and depth to the roster. So we're pretty excited about where we're at right now.
What can you tell us about the spring and summer that Reina Reyes put together with the Mexican national team?
Yeah, what an awesome opportunity she had this past spring and over the summer. So we missed her. I think we missed her for 3 games in the spring, which hurt us. But at the same time, I think that the experience she gained was invaluable. The opportunity was incredible for her. So she went to Japan to play against the Japanese national team. She went to Europe to play. And then, of course, she got to play against Team USA here in America. So, wonderful opportunity for her. And hopefully she'll bring that experience that she got into our team in the fall.
Really good returner for Alabama. And now if we just have a few minutes left, so we want to go kind of position by position. We don't want to ask you for a starting 11 or anything like that, but just kind of tell us where Alabama stands at this point of training, starting with your forwards.
Our front line, I think we've added a lot. Unfortunately for us, Riley Mattingly tore that ACL in the springtime. So not sure when we'll get her back, but we did add a very good transfer from University of Virginia that's got a proven record of scoring goals in the ACC. We do have a freshman that was an early enrollee that came in the spring. Unfortunately, she couldn't play games with us, but Brooke Steer, very athletic, powerful, blue-collared forward that I think she's going to be a handful. Got a player, another freshman from California, Leah Cundy, kind of built like Casey Wirtz. Powerful, strong, fast, but she's physical. She can strike a ball. I think she's going to be a handful for SEC teams to deal with as well. Moving into the midfield, we've got an attacking midfielder from Austria. Her name's Emily Kobler. She's plays with the under 20 Austrian national team. She'll be kind of an attacking midfield. Very good running with the ball. Good athlete. Very good in front of goal, in and around the goal, creating opportunities for teammates, and she'll be able to score some goals herself. Out wide, a new player, Riley Tanner. She's a transfer from South Carolina. She is a very good 1v1. So she's a left-sided player, natural left-footed, very good at taking players on, good on the dribble. I think she's gonna add a lot to our attack. Let me think, new players here. In the back, a lot of the returning back line. So we'll have some continuity in the back line. We still have Tana Sanchez, Sasha Pickard, Bella Scaturo, Jess Skorka, Reina Reyes. So we've got 5 players right there that played a ton of minutes in the fall and spring of last year. So I think that the back line is got a lot of experience. And then at the goalkeeping position, we've got McKinley Crone returning, who proved to us last year that she's quite capable in goal. She's wonderful with her feet, probably the best in the league, I think, at just being composed on the ball and her distribution. And then we also had Brooke Bollinger from Florida State, who's an incredible athlete. She's got great size, great range, and I think between Mac and Brooke, I think we've got 2 very, very good goalkeepers.
Well, we're excited for the start of Alabama soccer season. And before we let you go, just how much soccer have you been watching with the Olympics? Obviously, Team USA doing well in the Gold Cup. And then Ted Lasso season 2 is here. So it's been a good summer for soccer.
For a soccer junkie that likes watching soccer, I mean, gosh, take your pick. You had, the Olympics, you had the Gold Cup, you had the Euros, you had the, South American, championships. And I mean, it was just, there was so much good soccer to watch. And it was quite enjoyable.
Well, Coach, we're looking forward to the start of Alabama soccer. Again, you got the exhibition matchup against Tennessee next week, and then after that, August 19th, it's a season opener against Jacksonville State. We're really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to visit with you again. Roll Tide. Thank you for joining us.
Awesome. Thanks, Roger. Roll Tide.
So Alabama soccer next week, the exhibition against Tennessee in Knoxville, and then on the 19th against Jacksonville State, the season will start. And also on RolledTide.com, just a few moments ago, they announced the television schedule, national television schedule for both Alabama soccer and volleyball. So a lot of televised matches, and then all others will be streamed on SEC Network Plus, so you can watch Crimson Tide play soccer, and of course, women's volleyball will be catching up with the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Coach Lindsey Devine, here in the next few weeks on Crimson Drive. Before we say goodbye on this Thursday afternoon, we do want to take a look back to last Thursday, which was really a historic night for the Alabama men's basketball program, as the NBA held the first two rounds, the only two rounds of the NBA draft, and Alabama was well represented in both. So now we'll take a look back to last Thursday night, and a very special night for the Crimson Tide men's basketball program.
In the 2021 NBA draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Herbert.
Two players drafted. First time since 1995 we've had two players drafted in the same draft. What's that talk about your program?
Well, I think it speaks to those two kids and the work that they put in and the high character that they have. And, you know, winning matters. You know, the NBA is about winning. We won a lot of games, so I think it just speaks to when you win and do things the right way and work as hard as those two work, you know, your dreams are going to come true. So really happy for them. Hopefully, you know, some more guys from this team end up playing in the NBA and achieve their dreams, but couldn't be happier for both of them this tonight.
Primo went in the lottery. What did that surprise? That's two lottery picks. First time ever that's happened. Did that surprise you? Talk about that pick.
Yeah, you know what? First time in school history we had back-to-back lottery picks, and 3 out of the last 4 years with Colin. So, you know, I think we're headed the right direction. That way, getting some players in here. You know what? Maybe it surprised me a little bit, but not really, because I think the range. You know, I talked to his agent. He kind of told me 11 to 26. I had a long talk with the Spurs. I knew a lot of those people there, and they really liked him, and they value high-character kids. They're going to work hard, and that's what Primo is. And he's got so much upside. And, you know, they're big on, you know, he's long, athletic, can make shots, and he's going to be a gym rat and get in the gym and work. And he's got no red flags. That's the other thing. People got to realize, like Herb and him both, there's no red flags with them. There's no character issues. Everything off the court squared away. So, you know, that goes a long ways too.
Going that high wasn't something that I don't know if I was ready for that. I didn't realize I was gonna be that high, but I'm glad it's with the Spurs. I mean, I've always wanted to be a Spur. I told my agent when I first got into this process, that's where I want to be, and it ended up working out that way. So it's great.
Talk about Herb going to the Pelicans. Two Alabama players playing together again. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Oh, it's really cool. Him and Kyra will be on the same team, so it's not too far of a trip either right there in New Orleans. So I think that'll be awesome. I mean, I texted Kyra. Kyra's mom texted me. You know, they're fired up. I mean, Herb's such a good teammate and a good kid, and Kyra's a great kid too. So I'm really fired up. They got a new coach in Willie Green, who's from Detroit. You know, so that's pretty cool too. So maybe we'll get down there for training. We'll definitely get down there for some games for sure, though.
I couldn't believe it. My mom, she asked me after I got off the phone. I told her New Orleans they was gonna pick me, and I mean, it was like a surreal feeling.
It's gotta be something you'll never forget, right?
Yeah, for sure. Just having all of my family, my friends here, you know, support staff from the team. coaches, some of the old players came back. A lot of my family from out of town came in. It was a great atmosphere, a great feeling.
What does it mean to you? I mean, your teammates had to pay money to be here. So, I mean, I know you wanted them to all be here, and they were all here. What's that mean to you to have them share this moment with you?
I mean, it means a lot. They didn't care the dollar amount. They wanted to be here and share the experience with me. And I'm just thankful that I was around a great group of guys coming through the program. Yeah, man, I mean, I love those guys. I love those guys. And you can tell. I mean, they were just as happy as I was.
Talk about, man, you and Kyra back together again, man. Has he called you? Has he texted you? What's going on?
Yeah, I was on FaceTime with him right after they picked me. And he told me how excited he was that I was coming down there. And he was just ready to get to work, and so am I.
Just talk about just what the Alabama fans meant to you and how much that meant to you, how much you'll take that with you to New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, man, I know, the Alabama fans going to love me and Kyra joining again. I mean, they were great, throughout the ups and downs. They always remained faithful, came and showed a lot of love at games. They stayed loud at games, and I appreciate them for every game.
Last thing, man, you want to send a message to the students and the fans out there? Got something to say to them?
Roll Tide, man. They say this is the place where legends are born. And I mean, I'm ready to get to work. I'm ready to get to New Orleans and get to work.
Last question, just, looking ahead, the future, I mean, how does this help build the program, having this kind of pedigree on just your first 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to help in recruiting, obviously. Kids that were recruiting want to get drafted, want to play in the NBA, and now you're showing that you can put kids in the NBA. And, obviously it's their work, but you put them in a system that allows them to show their talent. And, we're definitely using it for recruiting. I know Pat Wade said, kids on the phone, we've been texting some kids. So, they want to be the next one. So hopefully in next year's draft, we get another lottery pick or get some more first-round picks and then just keep this thing going.
Big thank you to Alabama Athletics for that coverage of the NBA draft night. Thanks especially to our draft correspondent, Aaron Jordan, for all those interviews that he conducted with Nate Oates and Herb Jones from that draft party. Thank you to the San Antonio Spurs for all the footage of Joshua Primo. He was on a Zoom that you saw with San Antonio media. So really exciting night for those guys. As we mentioned before, John Petty also signing a contract with the Detroit Pistons, a chance for him to work his way onto a roster coming up later on in the summer. Just a really exciting night for Crimson Tide basketball. This is going to wrap up this edition of Crimson Drive, of course, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Got to say a big thank you to our producer, Ethan Carabin, for putting this show together, and thanks to all of you for watching. We're going to be right back here coming up next Thursday at 2 p.m., where we're going to be talking and showing you some Alabama football practice. Don't forget, the Crimson Tide hit the practice field coming up tomorrow. Make sure you watch our Academy Sports preseason camp updates for the latest on Alabama football, but it's starting to get here. We're getting closer and closer to September 4th, and we're glad to have practice back in Tuscaloosa. Glad to have all sports starting to return as we enter into fall 2021. For everybody with the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield, this has been Roger Hoover saying thank you for watching and roll Tide.